This video is on introduction to exponent and what will you learn in this video? You will learn how to write and evaluate powers. So let's say we have an expression 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, and we can write this expression in the form of power. As you can see, the 4 is the only factor which is repeating 5 times, so we can write it as 4 power 5. Okay, so when we write 4 power 5, this 4 is the base and this 5 is the exponent. Let's take some another example. The second example I'm going to take is, let's say I have 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3, and we can, if we have to write it in the form of power, so we can write it down as 1/3 power 3. And again, this 1/3, this is your base in this case, and this 3 is the exponent. Okay, so you can write it this way. Now let's look at some examples in this case. Like the first example is we have -2 times -2 times -2 times -2. So this is the expression we have, times 5 times 5. So as you can clearly see that in this -2 is repeating 4 times, so we can write it down as -2 power 4, and 5 is repeating only 2 times, so we will write it down as 5 power 2. So that's how you will write this expression. I can take another example. The second example is, let's say instead of the numbers, now we have variables x time, y time, y time, x time, y time, x. So clearly you can see here x is repeating 4 different times, so we can write it as x power 4, and y is repeating 1, 2 and 3 times, so we can write it as 5 power 3. So that is the second example in this case. Now uh, let's after this, let's try to evaluate some of the questions. And when I say evaluate, I want to take an example for the evaluation part. So the first example for the evaluation is, let's say the number is already written in the form of power and you want to evaluate it. So how would you do this? So again, -2 power 4 is -2 times, -2 times, -2 times, -2. You got to be very careful in this case. Most of the students, when they do -2 power 4, they think it is -2 times 4, which is -8, and that is not correct. This is a mistake. You cannot write -2 power 4 as -2 times 4. Actually, that means you have to multiply -2 4 times. Okay. Now we can clearly see that this negative times negative become positive, and here also negative times negative become positive. So my final answer will be positive. And how many times 2 is repeating? 4 times. So now you need to multiply 2 4 times, like 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So your answer is plus 16. Okay, that's how you will evaluate these questions. Let's take another example. My second example is 1/5 power 3. So we can write it down as 1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5. And when you do that, you can multiply across, multiply the numerators, and at the bottom you multiply all the three denominators. We all know that 1 times 1 times 1 is 1, and 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So that would be your answer when you evaluate 1 over 5 power 3. So now let's practice some of the questions. Here I have some questions that you can practice now. What you can do is you can pause the video here and try to do these questions yourself first before I explain them you the answers. Okay, so once you have done with these questions, you can unpause the video and try to look at the answer. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you the answer of these questions. Like in the first question, we have to write the expression using exponents. So what we're gonna do, we can clearly see that negative 7 is repeating 3 times. So your answer is negative 7 power 3, and 1 over 2 is repeating 4 times, so it's 1 over 2 power 4. Okay, so that's how the answer for the first part. For the second question, you have to evaluate this. So what you can do is you can write it as negative 9 times negative 9 times negative 9 times negative 9, and then you multiply simply all these four, and uh, and you can clearly see that there are four negative signs which will become positive. If the negative numbers are in even numbers, then they become positive, and all you need to do, you need to grab a calculator or use the calculation to multiply 9 times 9 times 9 times 9, and you will get your answer here. So what I can do is I can use the calculator here. On my desktop I have a Desmos calculator which I use. So I'm gonna multiply 9 times 9 times 9 times 9, and the answer is coming 6561. Okay, now let's move to the third problem where you have to evaluate this. Now the number is in the form of fraction, so you can write it as 2 over 5 times 2 over 5 times 2 over 5. Again, multiply the numerators, multiply across, and you can multiply the denominators 5 times 5 times 5. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, and 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So 8 over 125 is the answer for this question. So this video was on introduction to exponent, and I hope you understand the topic now. Thank you.